And the food I ate wasn't really that great, but at least it was 270 calories. Well, I'd have much rather have just a regular sandwich and not know how many calories was in it. And I think my body would probably have responded even better to it. So our bodies, with energy usage, our bodies gain more energy from foods that have been cooked than raw. So basically what it's saying is that processed foods are already processed. So our body is not going to use a lot of energy digesting that. Does that make sense? 150 calories of Pepsi goes into our bodies and becomes glucose real fast. Now, 150 calories worth of almonds, completely different. Because by the time your body breaks down the shells or the cusp around the almonds, breaks down the almonds, it starts off at 150 calories, but you really only use about 110 of it because 40 calories was used burning up and digesting those almonds. So you can see where the processed food, it just goes straight into sugar, straight into glucose, where when you're having a salad or vegetables or those things, it takes more energy to digest. So sometimes, now I'm not saying go on a raw food diet either. I mean, I see some of those people and I just think that's a little crazy. I still like my cooked food. But our bodies use more energy processing whole foods than processed foods. So that's the key. Am I eating food that my body's needing to burn energy to process, or is it going straight to sugar? And so it's something to think about when you're trying to put your diet together. So 2 reasons to not count calories. Well, I think there's 28 reasons to not count calories, but let's find the 2 reasons that really work. We talked about this on the first session, metabolic adaptation. Our bodies will adapt to the same thing every day, and that includes calories. So if you have a 1,500 calorie diet every single day and you're burning 1,700 calories, your body's still going to adapt to that. And it's going to pretty soon slow down your you'll lose a little weight, and then it slows down your metabolism to adapt to 1,500 calories. And because it doesn't want to starve to death. Your body's job is to keep you alive. So then you have to eat fewer calories, right? To lose the weight. So then you go down to 1,300 calories a day. And then you lose a few pounds, and you're getting hungrier and hungrier, and you're getting hangry, and you're upset. And then your body adapts to that. And then pretty soon you're down to 1,200 calories a day. Well, you know, when they used to do the starvation diets from people that were in concentration camps, they gave them 1,500 to 1,800 calories a day. 1,200 was unheard of. That is starvation. We've been starving ourselves with these calorie counts. And then you know what happens? Our bodies think they're starving, and then we don't burn any calories. Our bodies adapt to metabolic adaptation. We don't want to count calories because our body's going to get used to them. You want to eat more one day, less another day. You want to eat different kinds of foods. You want to keep things mixed up so your body doesn't adapt. So there's no sense counting the calories if you don't want to do that. And then counting calories teaches us to rely on external cues to decide how much we eat rather than trusting our internal cues. So it tells us, okay, I can have that Weight Watcher meal, I can have this, I can have that, and that's all I can have. Where now I'm learning to eat enough to be full and satisfied, and then I stop eating. Does that make sense? A lot of times I don't know how to stop eating, I'll be honest with you. I want to keep eating, so the window thing is good for me. Because when that time stops and I stop eating. But I am learning what it feels like to be full. I never did really know what it was like to be full. I'm learning some of the other cues on what satisfies me and doesn't satisfy me. And I am learning to trust me and God, not how many calories I'm eating. So calories need to go away, and then we can enjoy our lives. So we're finishing up here, and then we didn't have quite as much today, but we're going to have our interview with Maxine, and we have an interview by my brother, and then we can have any questions here. There'll be more next week about food and what's going on with our food. But if you're doing the Easy Does It approach, you have an 8-hour eating window. Remember, when you're doing the lingo, the bigger number is always your fasting number, right? So if you have an 8-hour eating window, you have a 16-hour fasting window. So you need to be at this point in your third week, up to fasting maybe 16 hours, and that works pretty well. With your steady build approach, it's a 6-hour eating window. So you're going to see from my brother that that's what he's been doing, and it's been working very well for him. And then if you're the rip off the Band-Aid approach, a 5-hour eating window. So you're going to try to, zoom it up a little bit. And like I said, my body likes the 5-hour eating window just because I like to eat the whole 5 hours. But I have mixed it up and do different things. So I want you to kind of figure out. Now, Kim, I know this is your first couple weeks, correct? And everybody else has been doing the eating window longer than that? Than this first couple weeks. Is this all new to you too, Carlin? Okay. Yeah, so you're right in there too. So that's good. All right, I just was kind of checking. You never know where everybody. Okay, since August. So perfect. Okay, good. All right, so I am going to now have Maxine come up and do our interview. I like the interviews because it really just gives us a chance to see that it works for everybody. So this is Maxine. Say hello, Maxine.
Hi.
It's so cute because I texted her the other day and I said, Maxine, do you mind if I tell everybody how old you are? And she said no. So Maxine, how old are you?
I'm 80.
80 years old. Doesn't Maxine look great for 80? Now, what I love about Maxine is that her and Dave will ride into church on their motorcycles, and she'll take off her helmet and her leather jacket. She also will go up camping. Her and her husband have slept in their car while their battery runs out and had to hike out. So she's a very active 80-year-old, right? She's very, very good at this. So, Maxine, what was happening with you? Were you starting to feel a little uncomfortable in your clothes, or?
Well, I have tried different diets, and I never really enjoyed them. And I hate to buy certain kinds of food and that. And when we were at a meeting and you were talking with the ladies about, this diet, I thought, wow, I could do that. I don't have to fix food for me and fix a different meal for my husband. We can just eat, the same. And I just have a window. And
where were we at for our meeting? Were we having Italian food?
We were having Italian food.
Yeah, so I don't want you to think that we were, we're having Italian food. And then when I was telling her about the diet, what was the first thing you asked me, though? Do you remember? She asked me, do I have to be vegan? Yeah, do I have to go vegan? And I said, oh, no, Maxine, you can do whatever you want in the eating window. So she tells me that one of her favorite things is tell me about you and your husband, that you can keep fixing him his meals.
Yeah, I can fix him his meal. And he's eating 2 meals a day with me. We've always, when we retired, we started just eating breakfast, and we eat that about 8 o'clock, and then we eat a 2 o'clock meal, because a lot of times he goes for a bicycle ride in the morning and then comes back and eats his breakfast, and then at 2 o'clock. So it's been a real easy transition for me. I just don't do the rest in the window. Now, last week we were down in Mesa, Arizona, and yes, I did do some snacking.
Yes, you're on vacation.
But
yes,
I'm on vacation.
Yes,
But now, I'm back to doing it, and David is very fine with it. If he's learned now that he has to fix his own popcorn if he wants it. But he'll go in there and do it, and he's been very polite not to offer me any. But he'll still go do that, and so it's been an easy transition.
Yeah, I know. And your eating window, because like we learned last week that most people's eating windows at night, but your eating windows in the morning, correct?
Yeah.
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 And so you're able to stop at 2 o'clock and
2 o'clock.
yeah. And then when does your window usually open?
Between 6 and 7.
Between 6 and 7, yes. And then Maxine, you don't drink coffee, do you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, do you drink coffee? Okay, I didn't know if you did or not. The coffee is the thing for us, I know.
That's the hardest thing because it's stupid. I'm retired, but why am I still waking up between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning? That's stupid. And so you get up. But what I'm learning now is I get up and I drink water until my window opens, and then I can have my coffee.
Yes, and then as she has her coffee early, so if you want something in your cream in your coffee, you can have it because it's during your window. Yes. So some of us that works very well for you on that. Now, tell me, you said today that you were doing a food giveaway, and what did that lady say to you?
Oh, I was working here and we were preparing all of the food that we'll be giving away tomorrow. And I just walked over to this lady and she says, Maxine, you've lost weight.
Doesn't everybody want to hear that?
And how did you lose weight? So, I told her a little bit about it. And this is what I was wearing. The thing was, before I started this diet, I couldn't get in these jeans. And I was about thinking, oh, I've got to go out and buy new clothes because all around my waist was filling out. And being the cheap person I am, I didn't want to do that. And this diet, all of a sudden, I can get back in my jeans.
Yes. And your clothes have changed. Now, have you lost any weight? Have you noticed, or you don't even care about that?
I've lost about 10 pounds.
There we go.
But I still weigh more than my husband does, so.
Oh, well, nobody tells that kind of thing. So, have you been pleased with it?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So do you feel like that anybody your age, age doesn't matter with this fasting thing, does it?
No, you just have to figure out what time you want to eat. You eat in the evening, and you don't eat in the morning. And so ours was, I was already eating breakfast and lunch, and a small snack in the evening, and I've just cut out the small snack, and we still eat regular food. I haven't had to cut my eating down. I mean, we still eat toast with applesauce and yogurt and peanut butter and everything on it. And I am a nutritionist. I have been in charge of hospital kitchens, making sure that the chefs and the salad people and the dessert people are making all of the recipes that they need to for the different diets that the people are on in the hospital. So, and of course, I met my husband in a refrigerator, so he knows that I love to tell that story, but really it was at the White Memorial Hospital in Los Angeles. And I had gone there to learn how to be a dietary supervisor in a kitchen in a hospital. And he came in, he was working in the kitchen too. And I was in the refrigerator. Of course, you have walk-in refrigerators getting food out. And he came in and he was introduced to me in the refrigerator.
Perfect. It's wonderful. Well, thank you, Maxine. So you were just telling people that this lifestyle has just changed how you're seeing life. You think you'll keep doing it?
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh yes. It's just easy, and I've lost weight, and I'm
feel
excited.
Good and look good. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yay. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, give her a hand. I know. I was so excited. Like I said, I get so happy about all the different things. I always tell people, you should be my next testimonial. I've got testimonials coming. I get so excited. Well, and then my brother, because I keep talking to you about my brother and his weight loss and his journey and coming up from diabetes. So I asked him, I said, Angelo, do you think you could, he's in Nebraska, do you think you could send me a video of your little testimony? And he did. So we're going to show that now, and then we'll do the questions, and we'll get out a little early tonight. Like I said, next week we'll have a little bit more about the food and stuff. But I think, like I said, the testimonials are what make me so excited. So let's see if we can get this. Oh, here we go.
I struggled with my weight all my life. I had lost weight before, and I am the quintessential yo-yo. Back in the 90s, I decided to join the U.S. Air Force and was able to get down to my acceptable weight by hours of intense exercise. But after my enlistment, I blew right back up, since my job no longer depended on my weight being in check. 20 years later, due to my poor eating habits, I developed type 2 diabetes, and when I had a poor reaction to the meds they put me on, I once again cracked down with the diet and exercise and was able to eventually get my A1C back to an acceptable 5.6 and went from a 3X to an XL size in clothing. That lasted several years, but was incredibly difficult to maintain as I loved to eat and I was always hungry. I got lazy and complacent, and last spring I was back at the doctor with an A1C of 12 and up to 3X again. The doctor wanted me on meds, but I refused. My sister told me the success she was having with intermittent fasting, so I decided to give it a try to see if I could get my diabetes back under control. My biggest hesitation was the black coffee. I thought there was no way I could drink it black, as it would kill my stomach, as that is why I started having pain 30 years ago. But I was smoking at the time, I was having coffee issues, and I think that contributed. I quit smoking decades ago and didn't put two and two together and still put cream in my coffee. But I haven't been drinking my coffee in the morning completely black since last May and haven't had any issues. I have been doing a 6-hour eating window, and I no longer eat breakfast. I eat lunch usually at noon. Then I have a substantial snack at about 2:30. Then I eat my evening meal about 5:30. I have been doing this since last May, and I have lost 40 pounds. I lost 4 inches around the waist, and I have taken my A1C last September, and it was down to a 6. I imagine the next time I get it taken, it will be in the 5s again. What I like best about this lifestyle is that during my fasting period, I'm not constantly hungry, and my body seems to be at peace having a time where I don't eat food. Also, when I do eat, I seem to fill up much quicker, and I'm easier able to determine when enough is enough. On days when there are special plans that I know I'm going to eat later, I try to eat my lunch later to keep that 6-hour window. And some days that is just not possible, and that is fine because it is a marathon and not a sprint. I have been doing intermittent fasting for almost half a year, and it really has worked out for me. My diabetes is back under control. I don't have to go to the big and tall section to get clothes. And the best thing is, it is not a depressing plan to be on, as I don't seem to feel like I'm missing out, nor am I constantly hungry.
Isn't that fun? I know. He sent it to me on Sunday, and I got a tear because he didn't want to do it. You know, I had been telling him about my blood pressure, and I had been bringing it up, and there was no response. But then when he went to the doctor and his A1C was 12, he texted me and said, okay, what's your eating window, and let's see how it goes. And then, like I said, he says it's only been 6 months. Well, I don't know. I'm doing the math. May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, 5. And he's down 40 pounds, and his diabetes is, he's pre-diabetic now, and he's happy. And you know what? I cried because, wow, Lord, when you asked me to do this fasting thing in January, I thought you were crazy. There's no way I'm going to do this fasting. And then you wanted fast to be a part of my whole year. And then I had no idea that the choices that I was making was going to affect those around me. My dad is 81. He has lost 8 pounds now. He's fighting his prostate cancer. And he's like Maxine. He's finding that this is working for him. And when you can see friends and family making a difference in their lives, it's just amazing. And I think only God could do this. I mean, I really do. And so you can see why I'm very excited about this. And thank you, Maxine, for sharing this. It was just wonderful. And then, like I said, thank you, Angelo, for sending this video and sharing with you. So I hope this was a good lesson for you today to learn about some of the feasting and to get rid of the diet brain and stop counting calories and count the time and see that the lifestyle really can work and keep work for us. Next week's exciting. It's one of my favorite ones because we're going to talk more about food and processed food and all this other thing. I know food is my favorite, and I'm not sure who we're going to have do our interview next week, but we're going to find somebody. So thank you for coming tonight. Like I said, we got out a little early today. So let's go ahead and close with a word of prayer. God, we love you so much, and we just thank you that you are the God who created us and that you gave us these wonderful taste buds and these delicious food, and that you have a way for us to eat where we can be healthy and happy and strong. I thank you for these wonderful testimonials. Thank you for the people that are doing this plan. God, I just pray that you'll be with each one of us as we take another 7 days and adapt this intermittent lifestyle into our lives. I pray for those people who are online, and God, we just thank you for all your blessings, and we love you so much, Lord. You are so awesome. We thank you for these ladies in your name. Amen. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
So I always think of different things to ask you. And one is, you know how we're not supposed to chew gum or eat mints or whatever, but the first thing I do when I wake up is I brush my teeth, and I almost feel like that's cheating. A 2-minute thing does not. Okay. That's probably the same story. Mouthwash is probably the same story, right? Yeah. Okay, and the other question I think that we've already kind of talked about a little bit, but just to reiterate, I think that we've all mentioned that when we mess up or when we choose to deviate from our plan, that we don't necessarily lose ground and have to start back at ground zero. And it's like, oh, I lost all what I've, all the ground that I've gained. You can just start back up again, and it's not like you, yeah, so. So my mom is 89, almost 89, and she always talks about getting on a diet because she's terribly unhealthy, and but she's terrible at adhering to a diet. She eats a bunch of garbage late at night and everything. I can't sleep. I can't. Whatever. So she's not sleeping well. She's eating like horribly. And so she bought the book and she did come that one night, right? But she has 2 other meetings that so busy she couldn't make this meeting anymore. But I went there last night for dinner and we're both going, oh, our window's going to close. And so I really, really, really hope that if anybody sees my mom or knows my mom, please encourage her because, yeah. Good, good. I told her they were online too. So anyway, I just really hope that this is something that she and I both can do because I have terrible discipline too. So
All right, any other questions? Perfect. Okay.